Even if sales were down in recent months compared to recent years, 2022 has seen several massive sellers. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, God of War Ragnarok, FIFA 23, and the list goes on. Unfortunately, it also saw a fair number of sales flops and underwhelming releases. Let's look at 13 of those here. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection on PC. When the remastered Duo launched for PS5 in January, it debuted in 5th place on GfK's UK physical sales charts. Pretty good, even if it didn't hit the top 20 for the NPD Group's best-selling games for the month. Its PC version is a completely different story though, hitting a peak concurrent player count of only 10,851 on Steam when it was released in October, either because there wasn't much hype around it or other big titles took all the attention. The collection just didn't resonate. Crossfire X.
Now get up. That's it. What'd they give you? Come on, just move, Hole.
With a whopping 38 out of 100 Metascore and lackluster marketing, it was somewhat expected that Crossfire X wouldn't do great. Lo and behold, it didn't chart anywhere in the NPD Group's February 2022 sales rankings, nor did it warrant a mention in GfK's physical charts for the UK. However, given how popular Crossfire's multiplayer is in China and South Korea with over $1 billion in revenue each year since 2014, this won't hurt Smilegate's bottom line one bit. Ghostwire Tokyo. Tango Gameworks' Ghostwire Tokyo was one of the premier PS5 console exclusives this year, and sadly it didn't perform up to par. It debuted in 12th place for the NPD Group's March 2022 charts, and in 11th place for GfK's UK physical game charts. Not only that, but it sold 80% less than Evil Within 2 in the UK, which was considered to have performed poorly at the time of its release. Though it managed 6th place in its debut in Japan, it only sold 10,144 units in its first week. Even the Steam numbers were nothing to write home about, with a peak concurrent total of 14,086 players in its lifetime. Shadow Warrior 3. Shadow Warrior 3 was intriguing for the fact that it not only went with a super linear approach to its levels, but also stuck to previous-gen consoles and PC. Blame it on the lack of marketing buzz, the shadows of Horizon Forbidden West, or something else. But when released on March 1st of 2022, it was nowhere to be seen in GfK's UK physical sales charts or GSD's digital sales charts. Even the peak concurrent player count on Steam was a mere 1,651 players. Grid Legends. Another game which likely suffered due to releasing too close to Horizon Forbidden West is Codemasters Grid Legends. It debuted in 18th place in GfK's UK physical sales charts and was pretty much never heard from again after that. Yes, not even in the NPD Group's best-selling titles for February and March of 2022. SteamDB reveals a peak concurrent player count of just 455, which is just a few days after it launched. Roller Champions. Roller Champions' success is a bit harder to measure since, well, it's a free-to-play title. That being said, its digital revenue hasn't warranted any kind of mention at all this year. It launched to very little reaction on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, and the Switch release did nothing to help this either. Lest anyone thinks the recent Steam release would aid in a resurgence, it has had a peak concurrent player total of 141 so far. Such was the response that reports quickly circulated of the game being sunset, which the developer denied. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Marvel's Midnight Suns has a lot going for it with some well-known Marvel heroes. It even had 15,500 peak concurrent players on Steam. Sales-wise, the story is less positive, as it debuted in a mortifying 26th place in the UK physical sales charts. Maybe it was just the victim of too many big releases on the same day, as evidenced by the Callisto Protocol performing way better. Need for Speed Unbound. Due to its release timing, we won't know how Need for Speed Unbound performed in the US until next month. As for the UK, its launch week physical sales were down a staggering 64% compared to Need for Speed Heat, earning it only 17th place. This may seem expected, but it's the 10th biggest IP in the region's history. Things hardly improved the next week when it slipped to 19th place following a 19% sales drop. Steam player numbers aren't so great either, with a peak concurrent total of only 14,063. Gungrave Gore. Gungrave Gore launched a few weeks after Sonic Frontiers and God of War Ragnarok, and days after Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Shock of shocks, it neither charted in the UK nor the US. On Steam, it has a peak concurrent player count of 138, which says it all. Stella. Sadly, Stella matched up in neither sales nor critical acclaim. It debuted in second place in Famitsu's Japan sales charts, with 26,644 units sold on Nintendo Switch, but only reached 38,704 sales before dropping out entirely. On PC, it had a measly 3,395 peak concurrent players via Steam. The DioField Chronicle. Square Enix may have some heavy hitters coming in 2023, but this year has been rather disastrous for the publisher. It released a flurry of underwhelming titles and commercial flops, like the DioField Chronicle. The strategy RPG launched at 17th place in GfK's UK physical sales charts, and sold about 12,068 units in its first week in Japan across Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5. SteamDB notes a total of 1,272 peak concurrent players over its lifetime, which is pretty sad. Sackboy: A Big Adventure, PC. Considering how valuable the PC market has been for Sony with Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, it was expected that Sackboy would follow up on that success. Alas, it was not to be. It recorded a meager 610 peak concurrent players since launch, which is far less than even Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. Sony hasn't revealed sales numbers, and maybe it's unfair to expect much out of a lesser-known IP on PC. Nevertheless, it's still disappointing. New Tales from the Borderlands. Released on October 21st, 2022, you would expect a new Borderlands title, much less the follow-up to Tales from the Borderlands, to get a decent response, but either due to the lack of marketing, Telltale not returning, the premise, or a flurry of other releases, new Tales from the Borderlands came and went with very little response. It wasn't mentioned at all by GfK in its UK physical charts for the end of October and throughout November. Even worse, it didn't even chart in the NPD Group's US sales charts for October and November. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Bolt.